I'm going to share with you 3 simple pitching cheats that are just going to make the pitching part of your game so much easier, where so many of you struggle. 3 simple golf swing tips to help you pitch the ball closer. It's going to help you lower your scores. Remember, if you're liking the tips in these videos, you can subscribe to my free weekly newsletter, link in the description down below, where we go into more depth on loads more subjects, and it's all absolutely free weekly learning. So I'm 96 yards out and I've got a 50-degree wedge here, just to give you some context to the kind of shot we're playing. So I've got my cavity back 50-degree wedge. Number 1 that I see amateurs do a lot, which is to have their normal golf stance. So relatively wide with their feet, relatively even distributed with their pressures on the ground. This is great for causing some kind of lateral shifts and some moves which will allow you to hit drivers, bigger shots. So point number 1, let's just calm your width of stance down a fraction. So if I was hitting a 7-iron, you're going to see a nice triangle between my hips down to my feet, a driver a little bit more. So again, this kind of triangular shape, where with a pitch shot, I'm going more for a rectangle shape. So I'm coming straight up to around waist height with the middle of my 2 feet. What this is going to allow me to do is going to allow me to keep my body rotating, because I want to keep my body turning, which we're going to come to, while at the same time I don't want to be having too much lateral shift around. I want to be quite centered with that golf ball, because I need to make this strike nice and precise. We need a good contact down by the ball when the ball's on the ground and we've got a lofted club. We need a consistent strike so we get a consistent launch and spin, because guess what, from this distance left and right misses aren't that big with all handicaps. But short and long distance misses, so missing short, missing long, not getting that consistency of strike, are a huge problem. So we've got the width of stance around waist width. Just remember, we do want the hips and the shoulders turning, which we'll come to, and feel how much easier that is from here, where you can still turn, but you do feel like you are going to get that more lateral movement moved into your swing. We want that gone. Now with that waist stance, we also now need to set some pressure lead side. This one really amazes me. I think this one is one of the most common issues, certainly with handicap golfers, new golfers, where they're not pressured up on that lead side at all. This will help move low point a little bit forward. It will help get that ball then turf contact that you want from a pitch shot. So when I'm starting, I'm feeling my pressure up to 70, 80, even 90% on my lead side, subject to lie, subject to if it's in a divot or on a really fluffy lie or not. So as the lie gets worse, so I feel like I'm going to duff it more, I feel like it's going to be more of a, oh, I might just chunk this one in front of me, then I will push my pressure that little bit more forwards. But my bog standard, like nice lie like this, it's a slight downhill lie, but nice lie, on around 70% pressure on my lead to trail. And when I move, I'm going to actually feel like I keep that pressure on that lead side. I'm not going to let it transfer. Remember, that's why we got rid of that wider stance. A really simple drill you can use to help you feel the pressure, because it's interesting, again, when I work with golfers on my pressure plates in my studio, they literally can't feel often where they're pushing in the ground, because as soon as they start moving the club, they're literally just thinking about where the club is going, which has its benefits as well. But you need to be able to feel how you're pushing in the ground, certainly when it comes to consistency of strike. So take your narrower stance that we've now got, and I want you to load nearly 100% pressure on your lead foot. So this is going to get the trail foot heel slightly in the air, and just do some turns and turns. So turn away from the target, turn back to the target, all around this lead side, just to feel that pressure forward and to feel that club landing relatively shallow. You can see I've done quite a few practice swings here and I've barely taken a divot. It's more brushing of the ground, and as you can hopefully see here, they're more kind of here to here. The brushes are all forward of that ball. If I was to do trail foot rotating, it's pushing my low point. See how much further back it's pushing my low point. So having your pressure in the right place and keeping it there as you turn is a huge cheat for hitting consistent pitch shots. Now the last one, the crucial one, we need to land the club. So we got to get the club landing into the ground, the grass, the mud, the turf, whatever you're hitting off, in a sensible way, in an inoffensive way, in a way where you're getting a lot of the ball onto that face with some interaction with the turf. We need to get rid of the crashes, the slams, and the non-connecting of the ground. So we don't want those horrible fin shots where we don't touch the ground and it shoots off really low, often runs over the back. Remember, pressure back, duff swings. We don't want those horrible duffing ground early halfway shots. We've got to get rid of all those. We want ball then turf strikes. And to do that, it's going to be about landing the club. This drill's really going to help you with that. Get this club landing to feel like it's not careering into the ground. And this is a bit counterintuitive for lots of golfers. I want you to feel that your upper body is actually turning up as you come through. So I want you to feel that you're getting your chest up to the sky. Big problem we see from amateur golfers is we see this kind of staying down idea, which we hear, keep your head down, stay down, which makes me bend forward and chase. This is not good. This encourages huge crashes of the clubs, actually hitting down on the ball tops, which are horrible. And if you do that with the pressure back as well, we start getting these backups where they career into the ground early as well. So we've got our narrow stance, we've got our pressure forwards. Now what we want to do is we want to get the chest turning away from the target, and I want the chest to turn not only to the target, but above. So I'm pointing my chest, if you shoot a laser out of my chest, over the flag. So I'm turning basically this way. It's this rotation with extension, which is great for shallowing that landing angle of that club into the ball and getting it really nice and kind of ineffective or inoffensive, I should say. We want it effective, not ineffective. But the unoffensive hit of the turf is what's really going to allow you to get nice consistent strikes. I mean, look at that. That's a lovely strike. It's about the roll. Yeah, that's the right distance. And I've just kind of brushed the top of the turf. We all watch telly and players are hitting these wedge shots. They take big chunks out of the ground, and like that happens as well. So don't be too kind of bogged down with that idea of a divot or not. I know I said it there, but just be aware that this grass is like medium to slightly longer. We're in Madeira and the grass is like sitting right up. It's not like the UK grass. That kind of strike on a links course, on a really fine cut down fairway for a tournament like you see on the telly, you will see some ground moving, but they're going to be getting the ball, then the turf. So even though they do interact with the turf slightly before the ball, if you look close enough, they do actually take their divot is more after, the lowest point is after the ball. And that's often because when you hit a golf ball, believe it or not, when you actually strike the ball contact deflects the club further down. You can't control that, which is where that big chunk comes from. But a great way of you practicing and feeling this is to feel like you can land, brush across that surface, certainly at the start. And then as those strikes start coming in, your divots will work subject to whatever bit of grass you're on. So you're going to go narrower stance, pressure forward, turn, but make sure you finish extended so you're above that flag with your chest. Consistency of strike is what's going to allow you to actually not miss greens with this club and lower your score. Because yes, you guys miss greens with wedges. We all do. It's frustrating, and we want you not missing greens from good situations. Let me know if this helps. Remember, if you want to subscribe and you like the tips, hit the button down below. Also down there in the description, I have a link to my free newsletter, absolutely free, every week, where we go into more depth with golf teaching ideas. Come and join the community. If you want to stay on YouTube and learn how to strike your irons better, this video's helping so many golfers.